Vikings versus Broncos. Good morning, Gallahorn. In the Raw.
Here we go.
Hey, everybody, it's Dave here, and if I could figure out how to do the camera thing, we are golden. And, of course, I can't. So, there we go. We have Good Morning Gallahorn in the Raw and live, baby. And we have Ted, Drew, and Dave ready to talk to you. How about that? Yeah. Oh, baby. Cheers to the win. Woo!
There once was a man named David Stefano who liked to watch his beard grow. He drank pumpkin spice beer every day of the fucking year. But after that Denver game, I don't blame him.
Hey, we have our first Yes, Go Vikes from Mary. We also have Cali Kid, who joined us last week, who really thought this game should be our yearly letdown game. I'll take that dub. Heading into the bye week. Skol, baby! Absolutely.
Now, just to be clear, we did win, right?
Yes, we did win.
Yeah, it was close.
So you can't play that absolutely poorly and still pull a game out.
Yes.
That is good to know. That's
20 points behind is the biggest Zimmer come from behind win. The previous was 11 points.
Come on, you got to start out. Get him up there.
Hey, see how low this is?
Shocker.
I know, but guess what?
We couldn't tell, Dave.
I got another one.
Oh, and we've never worn a black jersey in the history of the franchise, but let's continue.
Hey, but this is, guess who? Dante, alternate. Because I am saluting that game where he threw to Randy Moss, who threw the lateral to Mo Williams, who scored the touchdown in the one of the greatest plays ever in the NFL.
Ted, get him another beer, Ted.
I think Drew, you and I just need to step back and let Dave run this shindig.
Yeah, I'll just sit back and watch this action.
The Dave.
Look, that's what your tombstone's going to be right there.
Right.
Dumping a beer.
Yeah.
Ted Glover, I can't wait to get your thoughts on that game.
I missed the first call. I had to catch up. I was recording the game. I had to drive my wife to the airport. She's going on a really long trip. And I got home.
Opposite side of the globe.
I got home and it was like 10-0. I'm like, well, whatever, okay. And then it was 17-0, and it was, I'm watching it, and it was still 10-0 where I'm watching it, and then I get like my little score alert on my phone. I'm like, do I even want to look at it? Because that means the Vikings probably scored, and it's now probably close. And it was like 20-9. I'm like, holy crap, man! What is going on? I was, we said on the preview show that Vic Fangio, the head coach of Denver, has a defense the Vikings have solving. And for yet another 2 quarters, Minnesota didn't know what they were doing.
At half, it was 20-0 Denver.
We had 37 yards at halftime.
And they had ran, 15 or 16 plays. They hadn't even run 20 plays yet, I believe.
Awful.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Awful.
And the defense, you know, they won and they held at the end. But I think Denver ended up running 20 plays on that last drive to end the game. Because at one point it was a 17-play drive, and then they had 2 or 3 more. So I think that the Vikings defense is aging before our eyes. And Harrison Smith now went out with a hamstring injury. That's why Jaron Kearse was in, who played very well, I thought. Jaron Kearse did. Made a couple of big plays and big stops at the end. But
2 weeks in a row. Last guy to touch the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, they converted like what, 14 fourth downs on that drive? I mean, I was going crazy here. I was like 4th and 6, 6-yard pass.
I will say, as bad as the first half was, though, the second half was really good. And the defense, you know, Dave, you've talked about bend but don't break. They talk about bend. They bent it at like a 178-degree angle, but they didn't break. I mean,
it was that much.
They only gave up 3 points in the second half, which was pretty good. I mean, it was the defense was instrumental in the offense getting the ball back and being able to come back and get the win. But why couldn't they do that in the first half?
Because they want to cause our hearts to maximize.
You know what might be a big play in this game? Remember when Abdullah returned? Everything was already shitty. And Abdullah took it out and fumbled, and we're all thinking, how could it get even worse? The fact that we held him to 3 right there was kind of huge.
I thought the play was a Sandejo interception.
Right, we had it, and then they missed a field goal, so they had some chances down there where they came away pointless.
Yeah.
So I mean, for as bad as the Vikings played, they did have some good things happen, and they did enough to win the game. But I can't explain the first half, Mr. Glover. I really can't.
I can explain the first half.
Oh, here we go. Let me guess. It was Kirk Cousins' fault.
No. They were looking towards the bye. Everybody was looking at their vacation plans and whatever they were going to do, and they were going to figure, we'll just skate through this first half, right? Or through this game.
I don't buy it.
And they blew it. You don't buy it? Well, how do you actually explain that? They look flat.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but the whole offense, Stefanski and Kubiak's offense looked flat. The play calling was horrible. You get a free play and you call a screen? Really? No. You go downfield, right? That's wrong.
My amigo, before your heart explodes, remember how the Vikings looked in Week 4 at Chicago.
Just as bad.
I said this on the preview show. It's the exact same defense, different players, same scheme. And Denver, to Denver's credit, both on offense and defense, they were playing to win in the first half. They were airing it out. They were throwing every trick in the bag out on the field that they could. Allen was making some great plays. The defense was making some big stops. They were getting to Cousins. They were getting pressure up the middle, and that's kind of the scouting report on the Vikings. If you can get pressure up the middle, you're going to be able to neutralize offense. And because of that, and because they got behind, Dalvin Cook couldn't get going. I mean, you'll notice once they sort of got within shouting distance, Dalvin Cook started to get some yards, and they started to incorporate Dalvin Cook more.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean that's so. It was just kind of that.
I think Dave
what they did was they went to that no huddle at the start of the second half and completely changed their offensive approach, and they got that sense of urgency or whatever. So I'm sorry, Drew. Go ahead, man.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think Dave, you know, Dave's a Zimmer guy. You know that.
Yeah.
And if he says they're looking forward to the bye week, if he says the players are looking forward to the bye week, which says they're not going to, the execution's very poor, they're looking forward. If you blame it on that, then you don't. Well, listen, if you say that, like he just said, it's a creative way of avoiding that Zimmer got his ass out coached by Fangio 100%. See, now he doesn't say, he doesn't want to, he knows it, but he doesn't want to fucking admit it.
Wait. You saw my comments in the first half. I was going to rip Zimmer.
He was double reverse passes down the. They weren't scared of Zimmer at all, dude. Denver was coming at him full force. Fangio was pulling everything out of the bag, and he was coaching circles around Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer was scared. They were scared. Look at their offense. They're running ham up the middle. They were frightened. Cousins looked frightened in the pocket. Nobody had any. It was just Fangio was doing it to him again. It was just like the Chicago game all over again.
Oh, it was. It was.
And if you want to go back to, Dave, if you want to say the Vikings players were looking to the week off and they were taking this team lightly, then that's an indictment on Zimmer and the entire coaching staff.
Sure.
Getting this team ready to play this game today. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that was it. I just think Denver came in with a way more aggressive game plan because, look, man, they've got nothing to lose. They're in a hostile environment. Nobody expects them to win. Let's just throw the kitchen sink at them and see what happens. And what happened was 20-0 going into the locker room.
Well, and I look forward to watching the local sports tonight to see how those guys go off. Because most of you know, I now live in Denver.
We're down to one offensive lineman and having a rook dog quarterback in the second start. Denver's play caller did an outstanding job. The offensive play calling on their part was really well designed. They had a lot of good plays against us. They had a lot of mismatches against us. They caught a lot of mismatches on us. But in the end, we made a few bigger plays. And let's face it, they dropped the ball a few times on, maybe not physically dropped the ball, but they dropped the ball in the sense of they made some mistakes, clock management. They missed a field goal. They let a 20-point lead get away. But Denver was outplaying us and outcoaching us in the first half. I don't think the Vikings were looking past them at all. I think they had no answer. Vikings had no answer.
They're right. And I want to throw up from Edwin Broadmarkle, i.e. Eddie Van Halen, on free plays. If you have deep roots called, they throw it. But if it isn't called, you're limited. And it didn't seem to be called in the first half. But in the second half, when Stefanski went to that no huddle defense, change up the pace, it worked. And that I am grateful for.
That play action rollout, we had we did it twice. We had touchdown passes on each one.
Let me ask you this. If the Vikings had only been down 10 at halftime, you think they would have gone to that no huddle offense? You think they would have had that sense of urgency?
Probably.
No, I don't.
But I'm glad they make that adjustment because making that adjustment shows that they can. And we're going to need that going forward.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. But I think as sluggish as the offense was on their first 2 or 3 possessions, whatever it was, and then when Denver went up 17-0 and the Vikings got the ball back and it was still second quarter, I think I would have gone to the no huddle then. I just
I agree.
There's just something about these slow starts that bug me. Drew, you're onto something about the Vikings getting out coached and making adjustments. And okay, that's cool. And look, I'm not saying this wasn't a big win. It was a huge win. I couldn't imagine being a Vikings fan the next 2 weeks if they lost to Denver with the bye week and then coming in the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, God, that would have just been a miserable 2 weeks.
It would have been rough.
But there's something – I don't know what it is, but there's something not right with the way the Vikings start a lot of their games. And it's just – and usually it's just like one side of the ball. It's either the offense can't get on track or the defense has problems. You know, last week it was the defense had issues because the offense, started fast and the defense kind of started to struggle. I don't know, man. There's something coaching, player, inattention to detail. I don't know what the deal is, but it's something, and if the Vikings are going to go a long ways in the postseason, they need to get that fixed.
You know what, Ted Glover? You play a first half like that in the postseason, you ain't coming back.
You're getting run out of the stadium is what's happening.
You're not. The fact that we came back.
You're going to get 38-7 is what you're getting.
And I respect Denver, but the fact that we were allowed to come back is because they showed plays that make them a 3-6 team. That allowed us to get back in it. That letting Diggs behind the backside, letting Rudolph wide open, those are why they're 3-6.
I mean,
Hey,
they've lost 4 fourth-quarter games now, the Broncos.
one of the guys watching this live, Snarlix B writes, "Oh God, you're not lying, Ted. You are exactly right."
Which is strange because I thought he was lying.
What am I right about? Because that'd be a first, brother.
The defense, baby, the defense.
I will say, Kyle Rudolph, I hope he kept that ball that he caught that touchdown with, because he set a personal record for yards after catch after he caught that ball, because he rumbled and bumbled for 20 yards across the goal line.
Didn't he? He did.
That was impressive.
Hey, I got one for you. Eddie Van Halen, Edwin Broadmarkle asked,
Markle.
how seriously do we consider bringing Marcus Sherrills back, especially after Hughes muffs that?
But I mean, no. Abdullah fumbled today too. I just think it was like everybody did play bad in the first half. I mean, they got it all out of their system in the first 30 minutes. But no, you're not bringing Sherrills back. Who are you going to cut? Who are you going to get rid of?
You're not. And talk about fumbles, so did my favorite quarterback, who actually got a comeback, Kirk Cousins. But, anyways.
Yeah, Kirk was blindsided on that hit, brother. I mean,
it's still a fumble.
Should have held on to the ball, but yeah.
You know what? Kirk Cousins was the Kirk Cousins. Dave likes to call him the bad Kirk. But,
yes.
We just watched Kirk
and after the first half, he threw one pass over 10 yards.
We watched him stink it up in the first half. Body language was bad. La. He was getting sacked. He fumbled once. Couldn't get first downs. Couldn't generate anything downfield. It was all screens and pit and little drop-off passes. And then in the second half, Kirk Cousins threw 3 touchdowns. So, for as much as people give him shit, he didn't fold like a chick. He came back and won the game. He found a man.
After a turnover,
I think that 2-minute offense helped him as much as it helped anybody else, because you just get the play in and you kind of react to what the defense is doing. You don't have time to think. I don't know. Something happened. Somebody.
Well, we've seen Cousins in games like this that goes from the stinky first half to a stinky second half.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Let's give him a little credit for coming back and putting his foot down, saying, "Fuck this! I want to win this game." And he made some great passes in the second half.
Yes,
he did.
But how much of that was Stefanski?
What? Say that again, Dave?
How much of that was Stefanski's play calls? Switching it up, going to the 2-minute offense, going to no huddle, and suddenly getting.
I think they were on something when they went to the no huddle, because they got it back towards the 10-minute mark of the game, and they were still doing it. And with 10 minutes left, they were down 3. You don't need to do it then. But I think Zimmer said, or somebody said, hey, or Kirk even said, I like the pace we're going at. They don't like this pace. Let's keep the pace going.
They did the no huddle on offense. They did the no huddle the entire second half, didn't they? They didn't huddle on offense.
Or at least the fourth quarter, yeah. Or close to all the fourth quarter.
They came out the second half, started. I don't think they went – I don't think they huddled up the entire – because after they went ahead, Denver got the ball and went on that 25-play drive that got them 0 points to end the game.
But yeah, they were in the no huddle, but the play the score kind of made them go to that. But I'm saying at some point in the fourth quarter, they could have slowed the game down, only because they still had 2 or 3 possessions left. They were going to get the ball 2 or 3 times probably by the odds average, but they were still in it. And the fact that they were still in it, I was happy about that, because somebody said, even though the score is within 3 now, let's keep doing what's working.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good call.
The Vikings can be very irritating when they stop doing what's working.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no
and I want to go back to what Ted just talked about. I want to reflect on something that Ted just talked about. Maybe you guys can enlighten me on it. The first 3 drives of this game, this is something I've seen happen with the Vikings a lot. I know you get the ball the first time, you have an incomplete pass, you run it up the middle, another incompletion, you got a punt, 3 and out, whatever. When you start a game with 3 or 4 crappy drives, and they didn't do that in Dallas. What is going on?
I don't know, man. I mean, again, my only answer is the Vic Fangio defensive scheme is voodoo for the Vikings offense. They don't match up well for whatever reason, and they don't do well against a lot of those looks. And I don't know why. I don't get it. But
it didn't look like the Vikings.
No, they didn't. And the thing that really bugged me, they were down. I think it was 17-0. It might have been 20-0, but I'd have to go back and look play by play. But they had a really nice play to Diggs that was nullified by a penalty, by a holding call on Riley Reef. So instead of first down in Denver territory, they now had a 1st and 20. And then Cook went for like a yard. And then on 2nd down, they ran like a screen pass or a draw. A 2nd and 19, they ran a draw. And then on 3rd and 19, they did a stupid screen pass with frickin' Abdullah.
Terrible.
I mean, it just felt like the Vikings were like, whatever. We're just going to get off the field here and call it a half and then just try and figure things out. It's like they weren't even trying on that last drive, and that was particularly irritating for me because it to me it sent a message as we don't know what to do. We have no idea what to do. We're just gonna not try and do any more damage by turning the ball over, and then that's exactly what they did on the next punt return or whatever. So
there was no attacking at all.
No, there was none.
No.
And that's what I'm getting. That was my question: is where's the attack? It just looked like really playing scared, and they weren't attacking. They were attacking Dallas. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and in the second half, that's all they did. They threw the ball downfield. They got Cook on the perimeter instead of Amir Abdullah. Really, Amir Abdullah? Come on. Why is Amir Abdullah even in the game when you're down by more than 10 points? Why?
Which leads to our next question by Lynn Jensen. What do you think about the halftime adjustments of Zimmer across the 2019 season compared to today? Did he make those right adjustments versus earlier in the season? Hey, we've got a winning record. So obviously there's only a few adjustments that didn't pay off. But did today's make a difference?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, they won 20-0 and they won 27-23.
Which is the biggest deficit he has ever come back from.
So yeah, I mean, he made. I think it's a combination of adjustments and player execution, and then the different type of play calling, because we were just talking about that. The Vikings were very passive, both offensively and defensively, and I maybe that's the thing that bugs me the most. When they start off the game, they let the action come to them and they react. They don't force the action.
Right. And we've talked about that before, and that drives us
last week against
nuts.
Dallas, they did. On offense, anyways, the Vikings said, this is what we're going to do, stop us. And today it felt like they were saying, well, this is what Denver's doing. Maybe we can do this instead of saying, stop this. Because in the second half, that's the mentality they had to go to that mentality because they were down by 20 points. And it worked. So I don't know.
Drew, what do you think?
I think about a lot of things, David. Right now, I'm thinking if I'm making a credit list and giving out game balls, Mike Zimmer's not even in my top 10. I know you want to talk about adjustments and this and that. And, yeah, he did make adjustments, but it's been happening for so long under his regime. How about make the adjustments halfway through the first quarter?
Yeah, that would be nice. I agree.
Can we do that? I mean, can we not? And actually, if you talk to guys who, I've had guys tell me who have played that says when you go in at halftime, there's not a big sit-down meeting with a dry erase board. This is what we're going to do. You don't have time for any of that shit. You have time to just maybe make a couple minor changes. So you're not making drastic adjustments. But Zimmer found a way to get it done. And I think he was angry in the first half at all the dumb mistakes. That jumping offside, that happened in the third quarter when Wilson jumped offside and we had him on a 3-and-out. Making adjustments, and we ended up winning the game. So I give him that. But you got to have your team ready to play. I mean, your team can't come out and do that every week.
And that was the big deal to me. I had said in our thread via Twitter or via Gallahorn, the folks come out and looking at this as we're coming into the bye, so let's take this off. And it was like, if I'm Zimmer, I'm saying, no, You play your ass off or you don't get any time off. Period. This is an important game. You play it that way. And why they didn't for the first half, I don't know. Whether it's Zimmer not portraying that, not emphasizing that, which is his responsibility, or the players themselves saying, fuck it, we're going to go smoke weed and drink beer. I don't know. But either way, they need to come in and play.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's right. You got it.
I think the players kind of play for each other, and the coaches want them to. Coaches have to get them ready, but I don't think they collectively say, I'm thinking about golfing right now. They're out there to win, to play for each other, make plays next to each other.
You would think.
I don't think they're thinking about the bye week, but I don't know. I'm not in the huddle with them.
Eddie Van Halen says Jaron Kearse is the MVP of this game for the defensive stop. Do you agree?
Not on that pass he bid on where the guy took him deep. That was horrible.
It was.
That was bad. I seen a towel fly up in the air, and I seen Sutton running down the field. All I fucking, like Kearse said, "Oh shit."
Oh shit.
You mentioned something a minute ago about Eric Wilson's penalty on fourth down that gave the Broncos a first down, and I believe that led to their only points of the second half field goal.
Remote right into the sheetrock. It went to 1,000 pieces.
Well, you were only down to one.
Stupid.
Do I need to send you another one?
We've talked this year about the Vikings and coaching and discipline and all that, and this is the most undisciplined team I think Mike Zimmer's had. I mean, they've had penalties before, and everybody makes a dumb penalty. Every team has one or two dumb penalties a game in a critical situation. Gives a team a first down, whatever.
That was DEFCON 1 dumb. That was dumb.
But maybe it's just me this year, but this team consistently, whenever they have a good play on offense, like that long pass to Diggs in the first half that maybe got them on track and Reef was called for holding, or the Wilson offside penalty that gave Denver a first down, or that Rhodes PI that gave Denver first and goal in the first half. It just seems this year the Vikings defense, or the Vikings as a whole, are just horrible with their team discipline.
They are worse than they have been.
Walk out of the store, they got their new tennis shoes on, right? They went to Foot Locker, they got these bitchin' white tennis shoes. Look at me! And they stroll out of the store, and they step in a big pile of dog shit. And they go, oh, shit. So they go back into the store, and they hose it off. They hose off the shoe, right? They wipe it down, get it all clean, and then they walk out of the store and step in the same pile again. That's what they do. Stop with the same mistake. Stop.
But they're 8-3 going into the bye.
They are 8-3, Stefano. You ain't lying with that beard either. You're telling the truth.
That is a
they are,
righteous
and the game's right. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We played piss poorly, and we won this game. So that's what we always bitch about.
Exactly.
So David Stefano is correct. When all the shit cinders down and your shoes have shit on them and all that is done, 8-3. So he's right. But us as fans say, why the constant mistakes? Like Ted said, 2 good plays, walking, then something happens. Damn it.
Well,
in our corners, we got work to do with our corners because we are getting worked by wide receivers.
Yeah, that's very troubling. I mean,
I don't even think Zimmer wants them out there anymore.
Xavier's as old as I am, and I'm the oldest among us 3.
What do you do with Rhodes, Ted Glover? You can't keep putting him out there.
Who are you going to put? Hugh?
I don't know.
Hughes got toasted for 15 catches on 150 yards last week.
And he got toasted this week, too.
But if Rhodes isn't getting a flag, he's giving up a pass, or he's missing a tackle. What about that tackle he missed on that drive on that third down play? Yeah. When that was, we tackle him there. I'm sure they're going to have to go for it on fourth down, but that was a huge miss.
If he stays outside and forces that play back inside, I can't remember who was covering. I might have been Kendricks. I'd have to go back and look.
It was Barr, because Barr had to tackle.
Okay, it was Barr. If he stays outside, Barr comes in and cleans that play up, and it's not a first down.
Philip Lindsay made Rhodes look like he was in a yoga position. I mean,
So did Cortland Sutton.
So what do? You keep play after play after play. I mean, you have no choice. You can't put anybody else out there, but it's getting to the point where it's like other teams see this shit. They're gonna see it.
The Vikings are going to have. I mean, it's down the road, but this offseason, the Vikings are going to have a lot of serious discussions about Xavier Rhodes and whether or not he comes back.
Remember we did spicy hot takes? Well,
man.
tailgatemaster.com, i.e.
Mine was
Scott Backstrom, right?
mine was terrible.
Meow, meow, come back, cow. Yeah, baby.
Let's do it. Meow, meow, come back now.
Anyways.
All right, so, hey, Drew, who's your game ball? Who are you giving your game ball to?
Probably myself for putting up with that shit. Oh, damn it. Go to Dave first. I need to think for a sec.
All right, Dave.
So he doesn't know what he's doing.
Who do I think? Oh,
Mike
that's
Zimmer.
a good question. No. No. But
World adjustment.
I will give the coaches for that halftime adjustment and going to a 2-minute offense, i.e. no huddle in the second half. They changed it up. They made the adjustment. It worked, and they defeated the Denver Broncos. I will give it to the coaching staff for making that decision in the second half.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out here. I'm gonna go. I know it seems like an obvious choice. I'm gonna go Kirk Cousins on my offense because I think as bad as that first half went and as down as he was, he showed us something by not folding completely and bringing his team back to win. So that deserves a game ball in my point. And my other one, I'm gonna give my other one to Jaleel Johnson. I thought he rocked today.
All right.
I thought he was clogging up the middle. He had a tackle for loss. I think he had a sack thrown in there. He was filling in today, and he filled out fine, nicely in the middle. So I'm giving him a game ball. Him and Cousins.
I'm going to go. I'm not going to pick the same guys you did. But Cousins was my first choice, so I'm going to go with Stefon Diggs, who made some great catches. Honorable mention. I'm going to Rudolph.
Okay.
On offense. On defense, I kind of agree with Eddie Van Halen that Jaron Kearse stepped in after Harrison Smith went out, and he made some great plays. He had a couple of pass breakups. Trey Waynes had a nice pass breakup in the end zone there at the end. But Jaron Kearse, of all the players that needed to step up and make a play, he made 2 or 3 of them at the end of the game to preserve the victory.
Because he's playing for his next contract with a different team. Yes.
Probably.
I agree. Now,
Dave's
Eddie.
going Austin Cutting and Mike Zimmer. Those are his game balls.
No. Austin Cutting has nothing to do with today. Today,
Way to
Eddie
go. Good
writes,
job, Lieutenant.
draft DBs in round 1, 2, and 3, and things are soft. And I
Who said
agree.
this?
Eddie Van Halen. Edwin
Draft what? What are you
Broadmonkey.
talking about? You started talking about the
DBs.
draft?
Defensive backs. He needs
left
defensive
tackle.
backs. And I agree. We're looking at Mike Zimmer and the Vikings might be looking for a number 1 quarterback in round 1. Come in the 2020 draft. I agree.
Quarterback, you think, really? With the way
Corner.
Cousins is playing this year?
Corner back.
Oh.
As in DB. Defensive back.
Oh my God, that was disturbing.
You know, I would argue left tackle is a bigger need right now. I don't even. You know what? I don't even want to talk about the draft right now.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
go with the season. We got.
Let's focus on the fact that the Vikings won a game where in 99 times so far this year,
They would have
or
lost.
maybe even longer. You know how many wins you were down 20-0 at the half?
They were 0.
0. The Vikings are the first team in 100 games to win after being down 20-0 at the half. And you know what? Warts of this game and lipstick on the pig, whatever cliches you want to say for ugly, putting pretty on ugly, I don't care. The Vikings won this football game, when it looked with 30 minutes to go, they had zero chance, and they won. And Kirk Cousins played well. The defense played a lot better in the second half, and they got it done.
And what would you say? It would say, woohoo! That had never been done before. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Skol Vikings! Skol! Yes.
Your back count is 1.7, brother.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I'm not driving, so it doesn't matter.
People, you know what I'm doing the rest of the afternoon while I'm watching football? I got a lot of people that were texting me and emailing me and laughing and shit. I'm going to bust all their nuts wide open.
Do that. Bam, bam, bam.
Hey, before we get out of here, can I tell one quick drunk Army story?
Absolutely.
You can tell a story and you can tell the Glover story. Double them up.
This is not Don Glover. This is a Ted Glover story. So I'm at Fort Campbell. And the CH-47 simulator is at Fort Campbell. And so we have to go there twice a year to do our flight simulator stuff. And we stayed at this hotel in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Right across the river in Tennessee. I can't remember the name of town. And there's a bar in there, and we're sitting there, and we'd had a long day in the sim, and there were 5 or 6 of us. We're all in our flight suits, and we're drinking. And a bunch of these Vietnam Army Ranger guys had come in. They were having it was long range Ranger recon, the LRP guys. They were a bunch of badasses in Vietnam.
Right.
And they were having a reunion at Fort Campbell, so they come in. And we're kind of toasted. And we'd had a few beers, but these guys were hammered. They'd been drinking all day. And they came down and they sat
My
down.
kind of guys.
They sat down right next to us. This one dude is he's like Stefano is right now. He's absolutely fried. He can barely talk. And he puts his arms around me, and he looks at my name, and because I got my name tag on there, he's like, how do you spell your name, cowboy? I said it's Smith. Just all the letters are silent. He said, I'll tell you what, Smitty.
Funny.
Let me tell you, you helicopter pilots, you're something else. You 101st? No, we're 82nd. I was stationed at Fort Bragg at the time. And he recoils like this. He said, 82nd? Yeah. And he looks at me and said, you know what? I'd rather have a sister in a whorehouse than a brother in the 82nd Airborne Division. How do you think about that, Smitty?
Holy crap!
Oh, and then we ended up drinking like 2 in the morning. It was a great time. Had a heck of a good time.
Hoorah!
And every single one of those guys, there are like 4 or 5 of them, every single one of them had this absolutely harrowing story about being rescued by a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. So we drank for free all night, man. It was great.
Yeah, those are some stories I'd love to hear.
Oh, good time. Good time.
Well, like tonight's
drunkenness reminded me of that. So,
like tonight's come from behind victory, where Zimmer made halftime adjustments.
There it is. He has to get it in there. Zimmer made the halftime. Zimmer.
Well, actually, it's probably Stefanski, but I'll credit Zimmer.
Oh, shocker. Zimmer that got us into the 20-point hole too, dude. So credit him with that also.
Anyways, we take that into the bye week, 8-3, number 2 in the NFC North. Unfortunately, we've got to overtake the team from Wisconsin.
Man, we dodged a bullet. You know what, guys? If we lose this game today, it's going to kill our whole season. That's how I feel.
It really would have.
When it was like 20-3 or 20-7, I was sitting there thinking to myself and thinking, going, all right, 7-4. My God, this is just the fact that we lost at home to a 3-6 team. That's going to carry. It's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we avoided all that.
I think the Vikings playoff shot chances went over like 90% with that win.
Probably.
I looked at 538 a couple days ago. I meant to look at it for that playoff thing I'm going to do.
Well, I looked back at 214 stats,
site,
and they were 88.8% for making the playoffs.
I have
but
a question.
With this,
so,
it's going to be
look up,
higher.
When you're down 20-0 at halftime, what are the odds for winning? I'd like to know that percentage.
I don't know if they have that, but I'll try and find it.
Okay.
1 in 100, literally.
Gotta be low. It's gotta be low, regardless of who you're playing. Even if you're playing Rutgers.
And we know Zimmer hadn't done that before. So.
Well, he shouldn't have gone down 20-0 to frickin' Denver. But
well, I agree.
There's adjustments.
Yeah.
Adjustments there, Drew.
Footlocker, man. Don't step in the same pile twice. Foot
We
Locker.
about done because I got to make a couple adjustments here.
I'm waiting to hear the Miami homeboy speech. Let's hear it.
Drew, any last words?
Meow meow, Viking cow, and I will see you cats.
On the flip flop.
Yeah.
Ted, you got anything?
8-3. Enjoy the bye because you need that. You're gonna need that week to make your travel plans to Miami.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, homeboy.
Go Vikings! We win this game. Let's win more. Yeah, baby.